Hello everyone, I'm Rachel Tessman from stampyourartout.com. I'm an independent Stampin' Up! Demonstrator from Andover, Minnesota in the US, and I'm here to bring you a live paper crafting class. We're going to have fun today. We're going to make a bunch of cards. We're going to make a few of the bunch of cards, I should say. But you might even want to use these for your holiday or Christmas cards. They are amazing and easy to create. So, it is Thursday, July 6th, 2023, as I'm coming to you live. It's good to see you all chime in and say hello. Thank you so much. Sorry I was a couple minutes late. We got back from our holiday vacation last night and just kind of rush to make sure I was ready for this morning. So we're going to introduce to you some products from, one of the products from the online exclusives that just debuted today. So there are a bunch of new things in the online store, in the online exclusives area, and one of them is the pack of paper called the One Horse Open Sleigh. So I'm going to show you how to take this paper and make the most of it in the card that I'm going to create, or the card style that I'm going to create for you today. What else do I want to say? We have a couple people who are very special to me helping out today. We have Trisha Josephs on YouTube, and we have Lisa Marshall on Facebook. Thank you, gals. Say hello. They are my moderators. They're the ones that are there to answer questions and lead you in the right directions. So if you need help, reach out to them during the live. And if you're watching after the live, chime in and say hello too. When you comment, you get entered into a prize drawing. In fact, from last week's live on Wednesday, we have some prize winners that have already been drawn, and I will share those with you later on today, or later on in this hour, I should say. And then we also will pick some prize winners from the live. So after comments get entered and during the live get entered. Let's see. I'm trying to catch some comments. I just want to make sure that my sound is working. It looks like it is because I haven't had anyone say that it's not. And I think we're in the right spot. So I'm going to bring you down to my desktop and show you the products that we're going to be focusing in on the most. This is the One Horse Open Sleigh paper, and I have one of each of the designs, so one of each of the 12 double-sided designs right here in my hands. And you can see that there's lots of fun paper or colors in them. We have basic black, boho blue, Cajun craze, cupcake, earliest, I mean, you can read them all, right? And you get 48 sheets in these 6x6 packs, and they are double-sided, like I said. So you can see all these beautiful winter scenes. I love scenery paper. And there's this card that I came up with years ago called the three panel scenery Z-fold card. And I'm sorry, I'm just showing you one side right now, right? I'll flip them over in a minute. And I didn't want to convert back to that. I wanted to come up with some other kind of fold that would show off, I mean, look at these, right? The gorgeous papers as much as possible. So, isn't that cute little fox? So then we flip them over and you can see these are more like, you know, the B side, right? These are just more of a solid or monochromatic kind of pattern, kind of a woodsy one there. So you can see that these aren't ones that you want to show off as much. They would be more like accent papers, or more if you wanted like a subtle design. But there are a couple, like these here, I fell in love with those, where I wanted to use them on the front side. So we're going to set those aside for a minute. I just want to bring out this stamp set. This stamp set has been around for a while. It's called the Brightest Glow, and it has lots of great Christmas, holiday, New Year kind of sentiments in it. So this is the one that I'm focused on the most for the cards that we are going to be designing. But I'm also going to bring in one of my favorite sets too. So let's now go to the computer, and I'm going to bring up my PDF. This is a sheet that you will be able to print off when the blog post that's connected to this live goes live. And that goes live at 12:15 p.m. Central Time, which is just a little over an hour. The link is right now in the YouTube description, so you'll be able to click on that link at 12:15, and it will take you to the blog post where there's going to be photos of all the cards. There's going to be the measurements, a visual supply list. This video will be in there, and this PDF that you can download. If you don't have time to go to the blog post, you can go ahead and do like a screenshot right now. You can see that we've got a selection of cards in the photos. The one that I love the most is the highlighted card, and that's the one that I've given the measurements for at the top of that sheet. And then you can also see the supply list, and it's divided into two sections just because the first set of supplies are the ones that you would use for the card that we're going to do first, and then the rest of the supplies are the additional things that you would need in order to make all 12 of those cards. Now, did I mention already, if you do all 12 times 4, you get 48 cards from this pack. You can create like a ton of holiday or even winter cards. And I say winter because you can use another stamp set, like the second stamp set that I'm going to bring in later. And that's more kind of like all occasion, like a stamp set with all occasion words in it would work well. And you can use them for the winter time of the year. All right, so I don't think I need to mention anything else on there. Just keep track of those measurements there because we're going to be using them. And I think we'll just go ahead and bring you down to the desktop then, and we're going to have some fun. So I'm getting my first card supplies ready. Okay, let's bring you there. Okay, we're going to start with our card base. If you are a beginning crafter, please stay tuned because these cards don't involve lots of expensive products, no die cutting, no punching even. They're a fun fold that's very impressive, and I think you're going to enjoy it. So we're going to cut first at the 5.5 mark. So we're going halfway between our 11 inches, and we're going to cut our 8.5 by 11 cardstock in half at 5.5, and then we're going to trim off a little bit. Now, if you're starting with a regular card base, you would score it at 4.25, which is half of 8.5, and we can certainly do that right now. Okay, we've scored it, and that would give you a full card base like this that would fit into our medium size envelopes. Okay, but we're going to cut this down a little bit more. We're making a Joy Fold card, and I called them the Joy Fold scenery cards because these are perfect for scenery type of papers. So instead of going to 8.5 inches, we're going to cut it to 7.25 inches. So we're just going right to this spot here. It is summer here in the US, but we have like really chilly weather right now today. I'm shivering almost. All right, so now that we have scored and cut that and folded it to the right spot, you can see that there is some parts exposed here. That's the fun of Joy Fold cards, is you've got this flap and then we've got another flap that's going to go over the top. So now let's go ahead. I know it's Christmas in July, isn't Dolores? Yes, now we're going to go ahead and cut this at 4.25. So we're cutting this in half, and then we're going to cut this at 4.25. So you would need a little over a half a sheet, like maybe 3/4 of a sheet for one card. This piece, which is 4.25 by 4.25, is going to get scored at 1 inch. So we're going to bring it to the 1 inch mark on this side of the trimmer and score. And now we have another flap that's going to go into our card like this. So we open and we open. All right. Because we don't want to have this on the back side, you could keep it back there. I'm going to actually attach it here, and it's going to be a little more hidden because we're also going to have another layer on top of that, which I've already pre-cut, and that is cut to 5.25 by 4 inches. That's going to overlap and go on the inside of the card. And then you'll only see, if you can kind of tell here. It's black cardstock, so it's kind of hard, but you'll only see a little bit of connection right there and right down here. Okay, let's set our scraps aside. We have one more piece of white, if you saw in the directions. This piece measures 1 3/4 inches by 3 inches. And that's going to fit into this area here, which is actually 3/4 of an inch wide. So 3 inches, 3/4 of an inch. Now let's cut the designer paper. Fun, fun, fun. You wish it was chilly, Sherry? 95. So we have been super hot, and I think we sent it your way because all of a sudden yesterday, maybe halfway through the day before, it got really cold here in Minnesota. Strange, because it's been super hot. Okay, do you see this beautiful paper? This is one of my favorites from the pack. We're going to cut this, and we're going to cut it into 2 sections first. We're going to have a 3-inch wide section and almost a 3-inch wide section, vertical. 6 by 6 paper, 3 plus 3 is 6, right? So the only piece that we're going to throw away is a little 1/4 inch strip, and it's going to go in the middle on this paper. Let me show you the card that got me going on this type of fold for these papers. So I was going through my swaps and all of that, and swaps, cards that have been gifted to me. I hang on to a lot of them. Sometimes I even have like just a list of card suggestions that people have said to me, hey, can you share this? So I go through that little bucket, and I find this Joyfold card by Michelle Carlson. She's a demonstrator in our group. This is a swap card that she shared with us. And when I open it, I'm like, oh my gosh, this would be perfect for designer paper. Because look at this. This is like almost a half a sheet, and here we have a 3 by 4 piece, right? So that's what inspired me. Thank you so much, Michelle, for that. We're going to cut this at 2 3/4 inches. And then we're going to cut this side from the other edge at 3 inches. So remember I said we were removing a 1/4 of an inch in the middle? Oh my gosh, it's so cold in this house. I can't even tell you. I might have to yell out to my husband to ask him to shut the windows. So there we have our cuts. And this is going to get discarded. I'm sure a lot of you creative people would be able to find something to do with that, especially like the B side of the paper. That would be a fun little accent strip. So for this now, what are we going to focus on? We're going to focus on the wider one first. The wider one is going to dictate where this one kind of gets positioned, okay? So some of you are talking about all the specials going on right now already. I know there's a ton today, right? Okay, so we're going to put a scene. Actually, let's see here. We're going to put a scene that flows from here to here, because this part of the card is going to open up like this, and we want to be able to see whatever's here flow into here. On the front of that panel, we're going to have our sentiment and just a couple accent pieces. So really, this is where we want the flow to go. I'm going to zoom in just a tad. Okay, so let's focus on this first. Where can we place this so that we can see a lot of that little cabin? It looks like we could place it pretty much in the middle. I'm going to compare to the card that I already created. This is the one that I already created. You can see now the flow of the design, right? Look at that. And then on the inside, we just have it blank. But at Christmas time, a lot of us love to put photos of our family, our loved ones, inside or on the front of a card. This card, super quick to make. Here is an area where you can place that photo if you'd like to still include a photo. You don't necessarily have to put something there. As you can see, I think on her card, yeah, she doesn't have anything on the inside. Now on a card that I shared yesterday on my blog that's a Joyfold card, I did fill up that space. So here you can see the vases or the pots flow across the page, right? So you can fill that side up with a design if you want to, but on 6 by 6 paper, you don't have any more pieces to flow that design. So we're going to go ahead and just leave this blank as if we could put a photo there, or just, you know, it's not a big deal if we fill that in or not. Usually on the inside of a card, you don't have every single space filled anyways. So let's go ahead and figure out, how did Rachel do this? So this piece here, this is the one that we want to position first, of course, because you can adjust it up and down, and you have that 3x4 section that you have to think about. So if we go to here, then this design can flow, and we still have, you know, a little on top, a little on the bottom that we can cut off. Now you don't want to bring it down to here and then have to have your design go down too far, because then you're going to have this big solid cardstock area where it has no pattern. So you have to think about that too. You don't want to go down too far unless it will work for the paper. We want the design to flow, so we kind of have to stay somewhat in the middle. You can use the top and the bottom of your open card, your base here, to help make sure that that doesn't go too far down. You see what I mean there? You have to have, you can only go kind of 1/8 of an inch down. So I went, I believe, right to the same level as this. So I only cut off 1/8 of an inch from the top of that design over here, which is quite, it's gonna work, right? We can cut off 1/8 of an inch from that design. On this side, we're gonna cut off even more. Okay, Rachel's talking too much, she needs to cut. We need to cut. All right, so we're gonna go ahead and cut off some of this, and I believe, and I'm just going to tell you right now what I did. I cut off, yes. So I cut off 3/4 of an inch from the very top. Oops, wrong paper. From the very top here. Then after I cut that off, I check to make sure again, is this going to flow? So here's my paper, here's my design. See how it's flowing into that section here? There's a lot of math involved. Each one of these cards is different, so you just kind of have to play around with the paper. So that one I cut off a little bit at the top, but that's okay, that's all I needed. So now I'm going to make sure that this will fit in my other space. It's going to be 3x4. So here's my leftover pieces. Here's my 3x4 piece. That will fit here. And this piece needs to flow into it. So let's move this finished card out of the way. I think that's what's confusing me. So let's go ahead and add this with our seal adhesive to the inside. Then let's make sure we've got some adhesive here on this portion of the flap. And we're going to connect that down so it's centered between the top and bottom of the card. Yeah, I think that finished card was making me dizzy. We didn't need to bring that in yet. Okay, this is where we adjust. This is where we look to make sure. So you can take and bring it over, and you can see already that it just needs a little bit cut off at the top so we can get that 1/8 of an inch exposed. So we're going to cut off 1/8 of an inch. This is where some of the paper gets discarded here too, so we don't need that. We didn't need this middle piece. And now this one's going to get cut to 5 1/4 inches so it fits. 5 1/4 here. So we also are not going to be using that piece. These are the little tiny pieces that we don't use off the paper. Not very much waste, right? Okay, so this one gets added. What about those other 2 pieces on the side, Rachel? Oh, well, we do use those. So you're going to see next where those go. Someone told me the other day that it's weird that I talk to myself, but I don't care. It's sometimes when I get, you know, like I kind of have to say something smart aleck to myself, I do it in the third person. Okay, let's bring in this stamp set because we want to add some paper in here too. We're going to add the Merry Christmas, I believe. Yes. Let's add the Merry Christmas. And to the front of the card, we're going to do the Wishing You. So we'll pull out those 2 stamps. Merry Christmas. Here's our Tuxedo Black Memento ink. We're going to ink that up, stamp that right here. I mount my stamps so that they're not in line with the lines of the block, because then I'm not looking at the line of the block to help guide me in placing it. I'm just looking at the stamp image. Okay, and this one I'm going to go up a little high because I want to add ribbon. We're going to flip that over. We have two sides. Did you see that, you guys? It's not stamped very clearly on the other side. All right, so let's stamp that again. There we go, much better. Okay, we're bringing in these pieces now, and we're bringing in some ribbon. I've got my container of ribbon that I've been using for these cards. It's in one of my Country Hive holders. It's actually just like this little container here, but they stack on top of each other. Some really fun, affordable pieces from the Country Hive. If you are not familiar with them, you want to go check out their website, thecountryhive.com. Some awesome stuff. Okay, so we're going to cut one piece to 4. Oops, wrong scissors. Where's my ribbon? Ribbon, scissors. Okay, we're going to cut that to 4 1/4, and this one to about 3 inches. Okay, this is some pretty ribbon. It comes in a 3-pack. It's the 3/4 inch sheer ribbon, 3/4 inch sheer ribbon combo pack, I believe is what it's called. Really fun, pretty colors in there. So why did I cut 2 pieces? Because we're going to use that ribbon saving technique that we did last week. So we're going to take and flip this over, and we can go right onto the paper here because we're going to stick it flat down. We're just going to bring that right over the side like that. Oh, let's do that one more time. Make sure it's straight. You guys know this trick, right? And then we're going to place this onto, hang on. There, now it's running. We're going to place this onto this panel, and it's going to go between these 2 pieces. So let's take and put adhesive on the back sides of these. This one goes at the bottom. It's the ground, right? So that's going to connect here. And this one goes at the top. And you sometimes have to kind of line it up with the image that you had before to make sure you put it in the right spot. So that's going to go at the top right here. And then we'll put this one in between right here. And you've got 1/8 of an inch separating all of those sections. We'll tie a little ribbon around, kind of off to the left. And I'm going to pinch this ribbon, the one that's in the middle, just so it flows kind of backwards. There we go. I pinched it. See how I pinched it so that it kind of looks more like a mountain now? And now when I tighten this, there, perfect. Perfecto. Hang on, that's getting in the way. There, and we'll just trim this up a little bit on the bottom. And then for this one, we just put it on the inside, and it's going to cover up this little spot right here where the cardstock's overlapping. And you won't see much of that at all anymore. So there we have the finished card. Wishing you a season of hope and light. Merry Christmas. Okay, so that's one of the 12. Again, such pretty papers in this pack. That was that one. Okay, and now I'm going to bring over, let's see here. I'm going to show you another card from the pack. I'm not going to do the whole thing, but I want to show you this piece here. And what I did for that one is I cut the paper a little bit differently. So I took that paper and I cut it here, 3/4 of an inch in. And on this side, I cut and I want to make sure I tell you that right. Yes. I went and I cut again 3 inches in. So we cut our 1/4 inch from the middle, from the center. That's discard paper. Those are our 2 pieces. When I added this one to the card, I added it right here because I didn't want this tree to get cut off too much. And this down here wasn't that exciting to me. So I removed all of that, which gave us this to throw away. So there's our 2 3/4 by 5 1/4 inch panel that goes here. But for this one, see what I did here? I took and I lined up, I think I did it this way. I lined up the shadow so that it was coming. See, I could have done it right here, like that, but instead I shifted it up a bit because there's this gap going through here, and I wanted that shadow to look like it continued to flow up through the gap. And it really didn't matter where this one was cut, if that makes sense, except for that shadow. That's what I was relying on. So the ground could continue up. Then it also showed off a lot more of that trunk. So on the front side, you're going to notice that the top has a larger section of designer paper and the bottom has a tinier section. So let's flip that over. There's the tinier section, there's the larger section that was cut off. Okay, that's how I did that one. I brought in this ribbon combo pack for that one. That is the Real Red and Garden Green 3/8 inch. I don't know if it says anything else. I don't know if it's sheer or what, but oh, here, I have it written down. Ribbon combo pack, that's what it's called. And then again, did the same thing with the ribbon. This one became a Happy New Year card. Oops, sorry. Happy New Year card. Happy New Year. May the season, piece of the season, light your world and let your new year be the brightest. So just in case you miss Christmas, or maybe you don't make Christmas cards, there's a New Year's card idea for you. That was that one. And where did my other card go? We're just going to bring this one in. Okay, so that's that one. And now, oh, there it is. Okay, next, these two. So for these two, I used designer paper that actually has a scene on the other side of each, these two here. But I wanted to show you that you can go back to doing a more traditional type of joyfold card where you're not worried about a scene flowing. You just want to show off different fun patterns. And I really loved the woodsy look of these two together. I thought that they were beautiful. And so I made 2 cards from the 2 sheets, because what you're getting from that is you're getting these pieces. So I cut, and we're just going to scoot this aside here. I cut the wood one like this. Okay, so I cut a little off the top and bottom from the wood one, which you would do to this one to get the other one that goes on this card. So this one paired up with this card, this one paired up with this card, and you need that wood paper here and here. That's where that one goes, okay? And then for the other side, I literally just cut it in half. Well, not literally, but I cut 2/3 and 2/3. And what I ended up with was trimming just a little bit off. And of course we have a 1/2 inch to remove then, right? So you're gonna do the same thing to this piece where you cut 3/4 of it, yep, 3/4 of an inch off. And then you have 2 panels, one for each side. One fits here and one fits here. So 1 sheet makes 1 card, 2 sheets makes 2 cards, right? So that's what you do for that one. Then, oh, and here's the other ribbon right there. I used cherry cobbler cardstock though, instead of the same exact color of the ribbon. This is garden green ribbon. This is the cherry garden green cardstock. This is real red ribbon, but with the cherry cobbler cardstock. I thought it still looked great. That's that card. For the next two cards, I used these two. So even though they're both scenery papers, I thought it was best if we have a close-up and a far away. So you're going to see on these two what I did with these papers. So here are the two from that sheet. Let's bring that in a little bit more. There's the two from that sheet. So you can see I used the open fence area on one card and the closed fence area on the other. But then on the open fence card, I took away a little fence, okay, because there's a fence on this one. And there's a tiny, like a connected fence. I don't know. I just thought those two flowed better together. And this one with the open fence and the open field. So, but you can combine them either way. So there's our pieces for this section of the card. Right there. They came from that spot. Right through the middle. And they don't have to line up again because you're not trying to flow it into this piece. There's the extra pieces, the top and bottom of each of the sheet. And for the ribbons for these two cards, I used a favorite, love, love, love. It's the glittered white organdy ribbon. In fact, if you wanted to pick one ribbon to go with all these cards, this would be the ribbon because it would work with anything. And yes, I just saw a comment roll through. Where did it go? It disappeared, so I can't tell you who said it. But someone was mentioning that these are great masculine type cards too. Yes, in fact, when I did my blog post, I have to click certain categories, and I did choose the masculine category because a lot of these cards, just, you know, they're not like fluffy and cutesy and all full of, I don't know. Do you know what I mean? They're not sparkles and flowers. Okay, this one's a little bit different in that I used a white base. And there's the seam flowing through. Gotta love it. But do you see, instead of white for the panels, for the sentiments, I used a light color from the cardstock. So there's where we bring in the pool party color for the cardstock mentioned, okay? All right, let's work on another card. This time we're gonna work on this one. And this one, if you see where that little deer is situated, it's right smack dab in the middle. You're gonna cut that deer no matter where. If you cut your 2 3/4 inches in this way, or cut it in this way, that deer is gonna get cut somewhere. So when you have this paper, you're gonna do something slightly different. Let's bring in those pieces. All right, so we're gonna cut now at, and I'm gonna use my finished one over here to help guide me. We're gonna cut at 2.5 inches instead, because now we're cutting just to the left of that deer. See, we didn't cut the deer's leg off. Okay, so 2.5, not in 2 3/4, 2 3/4, 2.5. And then for this piece, we're gonna cut at 3 1/4. So it's wider than what we had before. We're gonna throw that away. We're gonna add this to this panel, which is now slightly smaller. Instead of making this 3 inches difference here, it's now 2 3/4 inch difference, which allows for this. So I just shortened this up and I made this one wider. Let's go ahead and put this card together. So you put your adhesive on that side, you lay it down. I like laying it down so it's positioned this way towards me and I can see on the right and the left if it's centered. Then I lay it down. I've got it flush to the edge. I press. I'm gonna go ahead and stamp. You know what? I'm just gonna lay this in here. I'm gonna stamp it later because we're gonna just worry about the paper on this. You guys know how to stamp sentiments. Okay, so here's where our flow needs to go, from here to here. So for our deer, I want to see the base of that tree. So I'm going to cut off a little bit from the bottom. I think I'm cutting off 7/8 of an inch, which gives me oh, how much on the top, Rachel? 1 1/8. 1 1/8 and 7/8. Okay, these are the two pieces that are going to go on the front with my sentiment. This is the piece that goes on the inside. This is the one side that you want to focus on first. You want your piece that's going to be smaller to fit. So we're going to add adhesive to the back side, add that in here. And now that this is added, we can look to see where this needs to go. And it looks like I want to cut off 1/4 of an inch on the bottom, because you can see it overflows past this white paper 1/4 of an inch. Okay, and you can do that by even like bringing it close up like this, if that helps. You just have to account for the fact that there's a little bit, the white paper is a little bit higher here. So we're going to cut 1/4 of an inch off the bottom. And that gets thrown away. And whatever's left from the top when we cut at 5 1/4 inches on this side is what gets thrown away from that. So that's tossed aside. We add this. To here. And now the design flows from one to the next. On the front side, we want to have this piece up on top and this piece on the bottom. Like so. They get easier and easier. And then this is your sentiment piece that's going to go there, and that's what it's going to look like when it's open. Here is the finished one. So I have the word joy on the top, and then let your heart be light. So not necessarily even Christmas or New Year's, right? Just happiness. All right. Next one. These I'm just going to tell you about for these two cards. We'll start with this one. This is another one where you look at the shadows. So do you see the paper? Hang on a minute. I went over a little bit on my adhesive right here. Let's keep sticking my hands. Okay, so for this one, I was concerned with that shadow again. So I cut this piece this way. Okay, so 2 3/4 of an inch. Let's just go ahead and cut that. So that's going to go over here, somewhere over there. And then the other piece, I believe, yeah, I trimmed it off on the outside edge. I trimmed off this outside edge because I thought that this stuff was more important over here. So there we're cutting to 3 inches and we're trimming off that 1/4 of an inch. That gets discarded. Okay, so you can see now, if we lay this down in here, this piece isn't going to sit like that, right? Because then your shadows don't flow with this gap in the middle. So instead, you have to kind of move it around, and I think I moved it, you could move it either this way or you could move it this way, and I wanted more of this tree here. So I brought it to that spot right there. And that's how those two got added. In fact, let's just cut that, and you can see then what did I do for the front. So that's going to get added here, and then we're going to trim top and bottom off of that. For this one, I was able to cut a lot down here and a little up there, and you could do whatever you want with that one piece because it's one piece left. But you definitely want to see a little bit of tree on each, because then it looks like this tree is super tall now, doesn't it? You can see this tree stretched out. So that's how you do that one. This ribbon comes from that combo pack again. Remember I was showing you that trio? That's that Azure Afternoon with Azure Afternoon. Okay, next card. That one was using this paper. And I considered this paper, maybe, maybe I should use that side instead and just do a typical joyfold card. But this looks stunning, you guys. Look what I did on that one. Oh, and the ribbon is vertical now because my sentiment's a little more squarish or circle-ish, like it fits better in this spot. So you can tie on your ribbon on the side instead. So that's what I did with it. And it's still, like, even though the scene is not super full, it's real kind of, but it still looks great when you open it up. So there's that one. All right, this next one, again, did the 3/4 of an inch, and then did, I believe I cut it off on this side, yes. So we're gonna cut 3 inches in from that side. Okay, I think it's because I wanted that tree to be saved, and I wasn't too concerned about the branches that were right here as much as I was about this tree. So this tree became important to me on this second to the last card. On the second to the last card, I wanted that tree in the scene, but I also wanted some of this branch. So I cut it at, and I'm gonna check here first. I wanna make sure I do it right. I cut it at 1 3/8 of an inch. So I went to this side of my trimmer. So each one of these cards is just slightly different on where you're gonna do the chopping. And then again, you wanna have this full panel be 4 inches tall. So these are the pieces that went on the front with the sentiment. And this is the one that goes on the inside. And let's go ahead and take that card base and add that piece in here. Right there. And so this one, you can see now that branch. You can either have that branch flow, or you could have the ground flow, or you could just pretend like this is connected to some other tree. And I think what I did is I wanted to see as much of this tree as possible, and I didn't care too much about where that branch was going. So I just trimmed it off at the bottom. So now I have my 5 1/4 inch tall piece here. Gosh, this paper is so pretty. And that just went like this. So again, the actual flow of the papers, you can see it's got hill and stuff. It didn't matter too much on that one for me. Which one did I just cut off? This one? Yeah. So then these two went to the front with the sentiment in between, and I got this one. But look at the sentiments on this one. It's a little bit different. These words are coming from the Layering Leaves stamp set, which is all occasions. So if you're not doing Christmas cards, let's say it's winter weather where you live, you're in the southern hemisphere, you could turn, because only a couple of these sheets really say Christmas, Christmas. Most of them are just winter kind of related. So you could get this pack of paper and make some winterish cards. Best wishes, so happy to celebrate you. Wedding, birthday, graduation, retirement, all kinds of things, right? This is our Pool Party Grosgrain ribbon. Super pretty ribbon. So yeah, I brought in a ton of different ribbons, but you can literally use just this one here and it will work with all the papers. This is the Pool Party Grosgrain. Super pretty. They're all 3/8 inch ribbons, 3/8 inch wide or a centimeter wide. And the last card I'm not going to demonstrate. I'm just going to show you. And it's using this gorgeous paper. Oh my gosh. One of my favorite sheets in the whole pack. Take a look at what we did on that one. So I brought in the Lemon Lolly ribbon again, used sentiments from the Layering Leaves set, Thinking of You, and Sending Hugs. And that's how that one flows. It's gorgeous against the Night of Navy cardstock, which is what I have for that background paper. All right, So we'll put them all out so you can see them all. They're just stunning cards. I just love them all. Cannot wait. In fact, here, we got to open some of these up too, right? All right. So there, you can see all of these beautiful, beautiful designs. And we're going to have to zoom out a little bit so you can see better. Fun. I love this little tiny deer. So precious. And this is one of my favorites too. I love the scene with the little bridge here going across. Very pretty. Oh, it's just fun, right? All of those fun cards. We did Christmas in July. Woohoo! One Horse Open Sleigh paper. It is from the online exclusives, which just filled up with new products today. So let me bring you there. I got to pull this up here. Okay, we are in. Let's set that up so you can come over to this page here. All these little banners going across the top. There we go. Online exclusives. You can click right there and it will take you to the online exclusives area. You can also find it when you're in the online store by going under menu, shop products, and then choosing online exclusives, and it will take you to this spot. So online exclusives, and they are right now sorted by what's new. You can sort them by price, low to high, A to Z for names and stuff, but the first things that you're gonna see are the newest products. This truck bundle here, it's called Trucking Along with the punch and the stamp set, has been something that people are craving. Once they saw the peak for the online exclusives, they're like, oh my gosh, I need that truck punch. It's so cute, isn't it? So look at the truck punches there. Some beautiful 3/8 inch ribbon that's gold and red, dotted ribbon. This gorgeous stamp set has kind of a stained glass look to it. Every time I hover over it, it changes pictures, sorry. And then we also have the, if you're needing some replacement blades for your trimmer, these are the scoring blades. So they're making those available to purchase. Scrolling, here's that truck stamp set. You can buy it separately or you can buy it with the punch. I recommend the punch. There's also some new stuff added in here that are also in the kits collection, because the kits line is online exclusive only, just like the online exclusives. So they also have the kits collection integrated into this section. This is a new kit that has been made available. I'll come back to that in a second. Here's some more. We have the Horse and Sleigh stamp set. There's the One Horse Open Sleigh paper. We have Timeless Charms stamp set. You can get a bundle with that because it coordinates with these Timeless Charms dies. Oh, and the Horse and Sleigh dies goes with the Horse and Sleigh paper. There's a lot of new goodies. And look at this, you could get the suite. So it is part of a suite. It comes in a suite with the Horse and Sleigh stamp set, dies, the One Horse Open Sleigh paper, and these fun embellishments, which every time I hover, again, it's making it, oh, here they are. These guys here, these are adhesive back snowflakes in lots of fun metallic colors plus the white. So the gold, the copper, and the white. Okay, now we're gonna go back because I want to, in fact, let's just click on the logo and go to the beginning of the online store again. So I want to make you aware of a new kit that got added to the kits collection. And there it is coming across the screen. It's called the Blossoms something or other. Okay, so let's go back. You can actually click on these arrows to go back and forth on these graphics here. Let's go back and click on Shop Now. It's the Blossom Wishes kit. Every month, Stampin' Up! Releases a new kit in the online kits collection. And these are kits that you get to preview beforehand, check out, have fun. The Blossom Wishes kit is right here. It's a $13 kit because there's no stamps and ink involved. Very affordable kit. You can whip together a ton of cards super fast because everything's pre-cut and ready to assemble. This is what you get for your supplies. They are slimline, tall, thin cards. Really fun, really pretty. So you'll want to check that out. I'm going to click on the logo again. There's a lot of new stuff, you guys. I'm sorry. Now we're going to go and we're going to scroll again. We're going to scroll to bonus days. What is bonus days? Here you have this really large step 1, step 2, step 3. So in this month of July, if you are going to order anything, and by the way, you can shop from me. I'm a Stampin' Up! Demonstrator. If you do not have a Stampin' Up! Demonstrator, I welcome you to order from me. Thank you so much. If you are a demonstrator, order from yourself. And if you have a demonstrator, show them some love and order from them. So we've got bonus days starting this month and today. If you place a $50 order or more, every $50 you spend earns you a $5 coupon. That coupon is then redeemable the following month. So after you've saved up all your coupon codes, which get emailed to you after you order, make sure you're using your correct email when you order, then you can redeem them in August. From August 1st through the 31st, you can take and use them all in one order, or you can use them in multiple orders, but you have coupons that you can accumulate in July and then spend in August. Okay, let's click back to that logo again one more time. We have another item that I want to point out. It's the clearance rack. The clearance rack can be accessed under specials. You can always find the clearance rack there. We're in the clearance rack right now, and that just got refreshed with lots of product. This is an area where Stampin' Up! Has a surplus of retired product that it's already retired, but because there's a lot of it, they bring it back and put it in the clearance rack and they mark it down. Oh gosh, oh my goodness, look at this set, you guys. There's lots of fun stuff in here. Oh, I'm gonna have to check it out. I have not had time to shop the clearance rack today, but lots of, oh, so cool. Look at all that stuff. And there's 4 pages on my it goes up to page 4. There's a lot here. Okay, there's another section I want you to go to, menu. Now this is if you're a Paper Pumpkin subscriber, you're gonna be able to benefit from this. You're gonna go to Paper Pumpkin Kits, and you're gonna go to the refills, past kits, and more. And during this day and tomorrow, it's a 2-day only, 48-hour sale. Stampin' Up! Is offering some kits at and some products here at discounts. So look at this, the Welcome In Paper Pumpkin Refill. It's normally $11.50 in the US and it's now $6.90. So you can see that they've got some things on sale in here available for you. Now, if you are recognizing some things that have disappeared, it could be that they already sold out, maybe they were on sale, or yesterday was the last day that they had them in there, like the Welcome In dies, those are gone now. So a sale is a sale. If you want in on something, make sure you get in on it. So just want to point out that those are the goodies on sale right now. If you're not a Paper Pumpkin subscriber, you can become one. You can sign up to get Paper Pumpkin kits. I encourage you to do it because they're fun. It's the surprise is the thing that holds people back. They're like, what if I don't like it, blah, blah, blah. But take a chance. Give it a try. There's also a lot of demonstrators and customers out there that are creating these alternate projects with the kits and sharing them. So I'm sure that you can always find a way to change up your kit if you don't like it as is. I think it's a fun thing to get, and it comes straight to your mailbox every month. I think the only thing else that I want to mention, and I will just go there right now, is on my blog. When you're at stampyourartout.com, and I'll just put that right across the bottom here, if you scroll down, you can see the Earth and Elegance version of that Joyfold card that I had mentioned and shared with you briefly. You can find information on that right here. Again, my blog post for this video will be going live at 12:15, which is soon. You can scroll down once that blog post goes live and you can read all of the promotion stuff. So if you missed out on any of that promotion stuff, I always put it at the bottom of every blog post that I have. So you can just scroll down there and it will talk about all of those promotions. let's go back to the desktop because I want to bring out those prizes that we had from last week. And, oops, let's get that off the screen here. We'll move our cards aside and let's bring this in. This is what I've got left because we had the two people that were live claim their prize last week, so this is good. The winners from the After Live comments get to choose from these two items. Begin with a Dream stamp set and the Wreath of Blooms kit. So I have those things, and I'm going to pull up our prize winner names so you can see. On YouTube, and I'm just going to make sure we have this going across here too because you want to claim your prize. On YouTube, our After Live winner was Stephanie Lee. Thank you so much for your comments, Stephanie. Thanks for participating and having some interaction with my video. I really appreciate that. I love that you're also a one color to one blending brush kind of person too. That made me giggle when I saw your comment. And then on Facebook, we have Terry Johnson-Eden, who is the winner for our Facebook prize. So congratulations to both of you. Now I have to go back to my desktop because I want to show you this bucket. This bucket of paper. You guys are going to be like, what? Look how full that is now. I have a ton of paper in here. And some of it did not start out as like 6x6, but we cut it down to 6x6. So there's lots of papers in here. And some of them are even scenic papers. And so what I thought I would do is go through here and pull out 40 to 48, depending on the kind, some papers and try to throw in some more scenic ones. And that will be the prize. So if I say 40 to 48 because sometimes there's like specialty paper that you might get. Look at this. There's some beautiful metallics in here, some gorgeous papers like that. So I will then have like a packet of paper ready to give. You get what you get, and I'm not going to have you pick out your sheets. So we're going to have Trisha choose from our winners, and I'm just going to check on my computer to see if she has called out names. She has. Yay. And now I'm going to see if I can do it, Trisha. I'm going to attempt to scroll back here and grab your comment so that we can highlight those winners' names. I did it. I did it. So congratulations to the people covering my head, Julie Poindexter and Donna Shelton. Congratulations. Make sure that you reach out to me at my email address, and I will put that back up again, but congrats to you guys. And here is my email address. So I don't think I have anything else to share. I think I shared, there was so much news. Sorry about that, but I hope that you got a lot of great card ideas. Remember to visit my blog post in 15 minutes. Next week I'll go live again on Wednesdays. This was a special week. We went live today because I was traveling and on the road yesterday. Plus I wanted to show you the online exclusive stuff on Online Exclusives debut day, right? So we'll go ahead and sign off here. Sorry, I'm gonna bring my picture back in. Take care, everybody. Thank you, Trisha. Thank you, Lisa, for helping out. Congratulations to the winners. Thank you all for taking part in this video, whether you're watching it live or after live. Thanks for your comments, your thumbs up, your subscribing, and your likes and your shares. I appreciate all of it. Thank you. We will see you next week on July 12th at 11 a.m. Central Time on Wednesday. In the meantime, now I'd like you all to go and stamp your art out. Bye-bye, everyone.